Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome everyone in this beautiful Ramadan day for receiving Noor weekly Quran class. During this month, we will be studying chapter 57, Al-Hadid, the iron. And as usual, Sister Yamina will be leading us in today's discussion. And you're welcome to join in with your comments and questions. And without further delay, I turn to Sister Yamina. Thank you. Jazakallah khair.
Ramadan Mubarak to all of us, inshallah. May Allah make it full of barakah, blessings, and blessings that bear fruits in the hereafter, inshallah. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. So as Surah just reminded us, we are starting this beautiful surah, which is Surah 57, Al-Hadid, and it has 29 ayahs. So inshallah, we'll be able to finish it during this month, bi-idhnillah. This is a Madani surah, which means that it was revealed in Medina, and it is believed that it was revealed between the 4th and 5th year after the Hijrah. So this is at a time when the Muslim community was getting established. And it is called Musabbihat. It's part of the Musabbihat, one of them. The Musabbihat are those surahs of the Quran that begin with tasbih, sabbaha, yusabbihu, subhana, which means with the glorification of God. As we will see, this ayah starts with tasbih. And like Surah Al-Hashr, Al-Saf, and Al-Jum'ah, Taghabun. And we did study Surah Taghabun last year, and alhamdulillah. So we'll see if we can go through the first bunch of ayat, inshallah. It starts with استعيذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم سبح لله ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. All that is in the heavens and on earth extols God's limitless glory. They glorify Him, they exalt Him, for He alone is almighty, truly wise. له ملك السماوات والأرض يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. To Him alone belongs the sovereignty of the heavens and the earth. He gives life and causes to die, and He has the power over all things. هو الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن وهو بكل شيء عليم. He is the first and the last, and the outward as well as the inward. And He has full knowledge of everything. هو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش يعلم ما يلج في الأرض وما يخرج منها وما ينزل من السماء وما يعرج فيها وهو معكم أينما كنتم والله بما تعملون بصير. It is He who has created the heavens and the earth in 6 aeons, in 6 days. The day in Arabic means really period of time, and is established on the throne. He knows all that enters the earth and all that comes out of it, as well as all that descends from the sky and all that ascends to it. And He is with you wherever you are, and God sees all that you do. له ملك السماوات والأرض وإلى الله ترجع الأمور. To Him alone belongs the sovereignty over the heavens and the earth, and all things return back unto God. يولج الليل في النهار ويولج النهار في الليل وهو عليم بذات الصدور. He makes night merge into day and day into night, and He knows what is in every heart. آمنوا بالله ورسوله وأنفقوا مما جعلكم مستخلفين فيه فالذين آمنوا منكم وأنفقوا لهم أجر كبير. Believe then in God and His Messenger and give out of what He has made you successors of. For those of you who believe and who give shall have a great reward. Subhanallah. The previous surah, the surah that comes right before Surah Al-Hadid, is Surah Al-Waqi'ah, meaning the event or the great event. And Surah Al-Waqi'ah, which is Surah 56, ends with tasbih. Ayah 95 and 96, which are the two last ayat of Surah Al-Waqi'ah, we are told, إن هذا لهو الحق اليقين فسبح باسم ربك العظيم. Truly, this is indeed the truth of certainty, or like the certain truth. Therefore, extol the limitless glory of your Rabb's mighty name. Make tasbih, glorify His name, extol the mighty name of your Rabb. Subhanallah. And so, in a sense, Surah Al-Hadid is explaining to us how to make this tasbih, how to glorify God. And we will keep in mind also, why is this tasbih so important? So that we are repeatedly told in the Quran, sabbih. So we are told everything makes tasbih, everything glorifies God. We are also told you also glorify God. And we can only do that to the extent that we know what it is. So we know that during the salat, when we prostrate, when we are in a state of prostration, what do we say? We recite Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. And when we are bowing in ruku', we say Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. And they refer to these ayats, and there are hadiths. That's how the Prophet ﷺ practiced this. And as well as his companions, how he taught them. So after reading the first ayah of Surah Al-A'la, if you remember when we studied Surah Al-A'la, it says, Sabbih ismi rabbika al-a'la. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, include this in the prostrations of your prayer. So, and he himself used to perform the command. So when the first ayah of Surah Al-A'la is to make tasbih of Rabbi al-A'la, so it is significant that when he's saying Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, when we say we're Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, we are in a state of prostration. This is a very powerful image of what's going on about the tasbih. So when we hear or read sabbih, it's a sabbih, it's an amr, it's a command, do this, glorify, make tasbih. How do we respond? We need to respond by performing the tasbih. But what is this tasbih and how do we perform it? So tasbih, if you remember, we talked about it a few times in the past, but I'm going to go again through it, because if it is repeated in the Quran so many times, it is because it's significant, it's important, and we need the repetition. It's like we eat every day, we drink water every day, we breathe constantly. The more something is repeated, the more it is an indication of how much we need it. So this tasbih, which is a fundamental Quranic concept, it's when we are aware that God, subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's when we say subhanahu, it's again a tasbih, is beyond any imperfection. is beyond any defect, anything. We're also affirming when we say Subhanallah or Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, that he's far above any elements of shirk that may be ascribed to him. And the elements of shirk comes from not being totally aware of that everything belongs to him alone. So some things belong to me and belong to other things and to nature. And some activities in the creation are not attributed to him. And some of them, because when it comes to to our personal life, the good things we attribute to ourselves. And also in nature, there are things that we don't understand because to us, they seem deficient. So when we hear sorry. So this, when we say Subhanallah, it means he's above any element of shirk. It is as though, and we are told in the Quran, this is again also, Subhanahu wa ta'ala amma yushrikun, we say, and we repeat it a lot at the end of every meeting or something. We say Subhanahu wa ta'ala amma yushrikun. Far above, glory be to him. He is far above whatever people may ascribe to him as shirk. So it is as though shirk and ghafla, because shirk happens when we are in a state of ghafla, brings our illusion of who God is down. Whereas conscious knowing God, conscious ma'rifah, with all his attributes of perfection, is to remember, to know, to be certain of the divine perfection and to witness it in his creation. And that's the tasbih. Well, part of it, or an aspect of tasbih. So we are reminded again and again that everything makes tasbih to God. Like in this first ayah of Surah Al-Hadid, and in other ayats as well, like in Surah An-Nur, Surah 24, ayah 41, we are told, أَلَمْ تَرَى أَنَّ اللَّهَ يُسَبِّحُ لَهُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَالطَّيْرُ صَافَّاتٍ كُلٌّ قَدْ عَلِمَ صَلَاتَهُ وَتَسْبِيحَهُ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِمَا يَفْعَلُونَ. So it said, are you not aware that it is God whose glory all that is in the heavens and on earth extol? All of them are glorifying him. All of them, only him. They glorify only him. They extol him, exalt him. Yusabbihu. Even the birds, as they spread out their wings, each of them, each of the creation, each being, each thing knows indeed how to pray unto him and to glorify him. They all know their glorification, tasbihahu. And God has full knowledge of all that they do. And in Surah Al-Isra, Surah 17, ayah 44, we're told, تُسَبِّحُ لَهُ السَّمَاوَاتُ السَّبْعُ وَالْأَرْضُ وَمَنْ فِيهِنَّ وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُمْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ حَلِيمًا غَفُورًا. The seven heavens extols his limitless glory, again they make tasbih, and the earth, as well as the earth. So the heavens and the earth, and all what they contain, all that is within so it's not only the heavens in general, no, every single thing. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ, and there is not a single thing, not a single particle, but extols his limitless glory and praise. It means everything. يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ. So this tasbih is related to praising God. But you fail to grasp their way of glorifying him. And it says, God is Halim and Ghafoor. He's kind and forgiving. Subhanallah. So there is not a single thing in the heavens or on earth that does not glorify God, yet we fail to grasp how they make tasbih. And because we fail to grasp how they make tasbih, we ourselves also don't know how to practice tasbih. And that's why it's repeated again and again in the Quran. I just want to note before we dive, inshallah, in this surah, that tasbih is related to the more we are aware that everything makes tasbih, the more we can see, we become aware of the connection of every single creation, every single event, every single being, whatever we think of, material and immaterial, that they all belong to him alone. They are making tasbih. It means they are proclaiming to us that where they are coming from, who their Rabb is. So tasbih means I am sure of lahul mulk. Mulk, sovereignty, control belongs to him alone. And so if everything belongs to him alone, and everything is the source of everything and the end of everything, everything returns to him, then how can I ever think of planning my life without a consciousness of God, without a connection, a relationship with my Rabb and with Akhirah? If anything in my life has no relation, no connection to God, to my Rabb and to Akhirah, it means I am delusional. It's my delusion. I am not aware of the reality of life, and I'm not aware of my own reality. I am not authentic. I lack integrity. Because authenticity is to be true to oneself and true to what is. And the fact is that everything makes tasbih to him, to God. Everything is an ayah. Everything reflects wajhullah. Everything looks to Akhirah. Everything is passing and transient and not staying here forever, as we imagine when we forget about Akhirah. So when we are unaware of tasbih, when there is no real concept of tasbih, a living concept of tasbih in our life, when we do not witness it in the creation and therefore we do not participate in that tasbih, we ask questions such as, for instance, how can I love God alone? How can I live for God? What does it mean? Like, of course, I have my life. I have my attachment to my life, to the people around me, to the world, to my property, I love creation. So can you see the problem with this question? This question is a symptom of a lack of awareness of tasbih. It means it is a symptom of a lack of true, genuine, authentic connection with ourselves and with our Rabb, of who we are and who our Rabb is. It is a symptom of taqlidi iman, imitative faith iman. And we talked about this when we studied the difference between superficial tawheed and genuine tawheed. Because how do we know God? How can we know who our Rabb is? Except through his creation, through witnessing, through making shahada, that everything glorifies him alone, that everything is an ayah, speaking of him, praising him, reflecting his divine attribute, his Asma al-Husna. So it is through his creation, through the creation, that we get to know who God is. So when we witness the glorifications, the tasbih of everything in the heavens and the earth, then we get to know who God is, who our Rabb is. And we start participating in that tasbih. That's we glorifying him, not only with words, but the words would be an expression of what we are feeling, an expression of our state of being. And that's the embodied iman, that's the ihsan, living in the presence of our Rabb. And then we love everything in his name, Bismihi, Bismillah. And we glorify his name by means of his creation, together with his creation. So we don't say, how can I love everything? How can I love God alone? Loving God alone means everything else is a means to love him. And so we love them in his name, for his sake, as his ibad. So they are not an impediment to getting to know God and love him. They are not an obstacle. On the contrary, they are what makes God known to us. That's how God reveals himself to us in his creation. And so we do not ask questions like that. This approach is very, very, very important and crucial. It is the whole difference between taqleed and tahqiq. Imitating, we cannot imitate in belief. We imitate in practice, but not in belief. In practice, I mean in the form of the practice, because the essence of the practice, the spirit of the practice is again iman. It's in the heart, and that's something that needs to be confirmed. That's tahqiq. We need to confirm it, and in order to confirm, we have to first make the shahada. That's why even the pillars of Islam start with shahada, with something that can't be seen, something that is practiced in our inner heart. And that's the difference of approach is the whole difference between genuine, true tawheed and superficial tawheed, the claim that God is one, but not being aware truly what it means. So this tasbih is really, really very important, subhanallah. So it's amazing how clueless we can be of tasbih when we actually repeatedly ask to practice it in the Quran. And so when we proclaim subhanallah, these words, these expressions are supposed to be an expression of our inner state of tasbih. They are not mere words. They have meaning. They are very meaningful words. They are seeds, and those seeds will grow and bear fruits when we water them with our conscious iman and tasdeeq and confirming them. There are so many ayats in the Quran. For instance, in 341, where we're told, وَاذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ كَثِيرًا وَسَبِّحْ بِالْعَشِيِّ وَالْإِبْكَارِ. And remember your Rabb unceasingly, constantly, and extol his, and make tasbih by night and by day. Exalt his limitless glory by day and by night. And in 1598, we are told, فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَكُنْ مِنَ السَّاجِدِينَ. So tasbih and sajda go together, because when we are in a state of prostration, it is when we are actually proclaiming and testifying and confirming that, yes, you are the Rabb, and everything is given to me. What I own is only my needs. Nothing belongs to me. So this ayah says, so glorify your Rabb and praise him, and be of those who prostrate themselves before God. And in ayah 20, 130, we are told, And glorify your Rabb with praise before the rising of the sun and before its setting. وَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ قَبْلَ طُلُوعِ الشَّمْسِ وَقَبْلَ غُرُوبِهَا. And extol his glory too during some of the hours of the night as well as during the hours of the day, so that you might attain to happiness, to satisfaction. Subhanallah. وسبح بحمد ربك قبل طلوع الشمس وقبل غروبها ومن آناء الليل فسبح وأطراف النهار لعلك ترضى. So in order for us to find that inner satisfaction, that inner peace, we need to make tasbih before the rising of the sun and before the setting of the sun. And again, the word is used again, and sabbih again, and glorify God during some hours of the night as well as during hours of the day. It means, as the previous ayah said, constantly and ceasingly remember God and extol his limitless glory. So this is something that we need to be practicing on a daily basis constantly. So it is very important that we understand, we figure out what this tasbih is. And the more we practice it, the more it will open up and open up and open up, and we will realize its meaning at deeper and deeper levels. And we will participate, we will understand the tasbihat of everything around us, all creation or all events, and we will be part of that tasbih, which is glorification, and also this floating, this swimming with God's will, with his creative activity. Alhamdulillah. We are also told in 25, ayah 58, has trust the living one who dies not, that's God, of course, and glorify him with praise, for none is as aware of his creatures' sin as he. وتوكل على الحي الذي لا يموت وسبح بحمده وكفى بذنوب عباده خبيرا. Subhanallah. Just so beautiful guidance, I mean, living. And it carries on, and it carries on. And we are told, for instance, only they, who are the people who truly believe in the ayat, in the signs of God, only they believe in our ayat, those who, whenever they are reminded of them, of our ayat, fall down prostrating themselves through prostrating themselves and glorify their Rabb with praise, and who are never filled with false pride. Whenever we are not in this state of glorification, we are deluded. We are somehow at different levels filled with some false pride. We are not authentic to ourselves. We lack integrity. We're deluding ourselves. إنما يؤمن بآياتنا الذين إذا ذكروا بها خروا سجدا وسبحوا بحمد ربهم وهم لا يستكبرون. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. And this is sajda ayah, which means, inshallah, before Dhuhr prayer, we need to make a sajda. Subhanallah. So it means, to the extent we understand how everything makes tasbih to God, to that extent we will be able to glorify him as well by participating in that tasbih, and vice versa. As we practice the tasbih, we will be more proficient at hearing and understanding the tasbihat of everything around us. And to that extent, inshallah, bi'idhnillah, we will be able to know God and believe in him alone and surrender and submit to his will alone. So this surah starts with سَبَّحَ لِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. All that is in the heavens and on earth extols God's limitless glory. Everything glorifies him. Everything extols him. For he alone is almighty, truly wise. So beings makes tasbih. It means they declare the perfection of their maker. They declare that he's beyond any deficiency. Any deficiency leads to shirk, remember? Any deficiency that we may attribute to him, that we imagine we are seeing in the creation, when we are unaware of the reality of the creation, when we see the creation through the lenses of our own limited whims or expectations. For instance, think of a beautiful flower. With the way it is shaped, its coloring, its beauty, everything in it is making tasbih and declaring how beautifully it is made. Whoever made it beautifully. He is the Jamil, the beauteous one. He is the source of all beauty. But then the flower starts wilting and loses form and shape and colors, and it's dry and brown and shapeless. And it seems to us ugly and therefore deficient. According to what? In comparison to its first state. Because we assume that it should be beautiful all the time. We assume that everything should be as we like it all the time. And we are unaware of the purpose of the liking and the purpose of the disliking. The purpose of the liking of the beauty and the disliking of its ugliness. However, it is through its wilting, through its losing its beauty, that the flower declares that the beauty displayed on it does not belong to it. Because if it were always beautiful forever and never died, we would never know that it was made beautifully. We would assume, and rightly so, how would we know? We would have no clue. We would assume that it is itself beautiful. But the fact that it dies and wilts and loses that beauty is a reminder. It is a tasbih. It is as though the flower is proclaiming that, you see, the beauty displayed on me does not belong to me. And it is as though proclaiming to us, I am only like a mirror reflecting whatever my maker wills for me. And if we had any doubt, like it seemed to us that the flower itself was beautiful, because when we are not consciously relating to things around us, that's how it seems. Then that assumption is broken, interrupted, and we find out that it is not beautiful of itself. It is made beautiful, and that beauty goes. It does not belong to the flower. And we look and we see there is no beauty left, no life, no shape, no color on the flower. They're all gone. And we understand that they belong to someone other than the flower, someone beyond the flower, someone who is making this flower and the next flower, because when the next flower is also created next to it with beauty and shape and everything. Subhanallah. So we say, Subhanallah. When we see the beautiful flower blooming, we say, Subhanallah, MashaAllah. When we see it dying, we say, Subhanallah. So when the wilting is viewed in connection with the first state of blooming, together as the two sides of a coin, and both states are read as an ayah, as a sign indicating the source of beautification and the source of giving of forms and giving of life and dealing death beyond the flower itself, then we realize that wilting is not a deficient state. It is performing its function of ayah perfectly. It is reflecting God's attributes of perfection together with the blooming perfectly. And therefore, it is a mode of glorifying God, of the flower, glorifying God in its blooming and in its wilting, in its beauty and in its ugliness, in its life and in its death. They glorify God with his beautiful names. And we say, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. And we understand then how wise it is that the flower is caused to wilt. There is wisdom. Subhanallah, he is Aziz, he is almighty, has the power of all things. He makes it beautiful and he makes it wilt. And there is wisdom. It's not happening haphazardly. He's not exercising his power without any aim and purpose, without any meaning. Subhanallah, how wise it is that the flower is caused to wilt after its blooming. For it is in this way that we are enabled to read the ayat in creation. It is in this way that we are enabled to hear their tasbihat and glorifications. And inshallah, we will participate in those tasbihat. Subhanallah. So when we understand the wisdom and hikmah in wilting, we make istighfar. Wilting is not deficiency. And it is not in vain. It is not without meaning and purpose. It is not because the maker could not sustain the blooming. Hasha, he is almighty, he is al-Aziz. He creates the wilting as part of the tasbih of creation. And as an act of compassion for us, an act of guidance to guide us to the meaning and reality of our life and the purpose of our life in this world, so that we prepare for our for akhirah, for our eternal life, inshallah. And so we can declare, Subhanallah, Ya Rabbi, you are truly above any deficiency. You are truly above any meaninglessness. You create everything with purpose and meaning and wisdom. You are truly Al-Aziz Al-Hakim. He is truly almighty and wise. Sabbaha lillahi ma fi as-samawati wal-ard wa huwa Al-Aziz Al-Hakim. All that is in the heavens and on earth extols God's limitless glory, for he alone is almighty, truly wise. So we realize God is Aziz and Hakim. He is almighty and wise through observing the way things are made, and through realizing that through their mode of being, their making the tasbihat of their maker and making him known to us with his attributes of perfection, Asma al-Husna, and vice versa. Once we realize that once we get to know God as Aziz and Hakim, as the Almighty, truly wise, then we realize that it is because he is Aziz and Hakim that the creation is created this way. But in the beginning, we look at the creation through the way they are created. We realize God, we get to know God with his attributes of perfection, in this case, Aziz and Hakim. And then we realize that it is because he's Aziz and Hakim that he created everything in order to reflect his Izzah and Hikmah. Subhanallah. And if we take, remember we talked about Ahadiyya and Wahidiyya when we talked about genuine Tawheed. When we look at a single creation, a single event, in this case, for instance, at a single flower, and we see how it is related to the rest of the flowers, to us, to all other beings, to the seasons, to the water, to the light, to soil and earth. And so we realize that the maker of the flower can only be the maker of the whole universe. It doesn't exist on its own in the void. It is not a small creation. It is small. It is not separate creation, let's say. And so through one flower, we realize that it is also making the flower the way it has been related and connected with everything around it, including our connection to it. We realize that it is making tasbihat is telling us that my maker can only be the maker of the whole world, the whole creation, the whole universe. And so it is saying to us, lahul mulk, mulk, the control of everything, the sovereignty of everything belongs to him alone. That's part of the tasbihat of creation. And that's what we are told in the next ayah. To him alone belongs the sovereignty of the heavens and the earth, over the heavens and the earth. He gives life and causes to die, and he has the power over all things. له الملك له ملك السماوات والأرض يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. Subhanallah. So he deals death, he gives life, and he causes to die, because death is not only a lack of life, it is a creation on its own. It's not only destruction of life. And it's only because we don't understand what life is that we think death is only an absence of life. When actually, for instance, if you look at aging, they are happening at the same time. There is, while life is still carrying on, the preparation for that is also occurring. So he is muhyi and mumit. We can make names of God through the verbs. He gives life and he causes to die. And of course, who can give life and cause to die except the one who has control over everything? Because from one perspective, we can say that the giving of life is the coming into being. We are given life constantly as the adult, like the baby is growing. A part of it is leaving, dying, and a new human being, a new body at least, is coming into being. And that's why children change very quickly over time. So the yuhyi wa yumit are happening at the same time. He gives life and causes to die. He brings things into being, and others are leaving and exiting this world. Subhanallah. And this is clearly a sign that he has power over all things. Everything is under his control. هو الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن وهو بكل شيء عليم. So he does not only have power over all things, he also knows everything. And of course, you cannot have control anything just with power. In order to control, you have to also know. So knowledge is very important. Knowledge and power are both very important. Let's say, you can say that from a perspective, knowledge is power as well. So he is the first and the last, and the outward as well as the inward. And he has full knowledge over everything. And how do we know this? When we look at the creation, first we look at the creation and we see how everything is being created. At the beginning of everything, the source of everything points to him. He is the source of everything. The way things are created points to him as the source. And the end, the blooming flower is coming from that source. The dying, wilting flower is going back to that source. Is again pointing to him. He is the first and the last. We understand that he is the first and the last. And also we look at what we see apparently, and when we get deeper in, we understand that he is the outward as well as the inward. The creation points to indicate these names. And then when we look from, once we know that God is the first and the last, the outward and the inward, then we start looking at the creation and understand it even at a higher level, that he is eternal. Without, nothing comes before him, or nothing can exist without him. So he's creator without creating, before creating, because we understand that he is Samad. He does not need anything. So this ayah is very, very deep, and I don't know if we have time to go through it. And it's not only deep, it's from one perspective, it is taking, how do you say, it's related to the tasbih of everything. So we can realize these names of God, these attributes of God, to the extent that we not only we observe and we understand the tasbihat of everything, but to the extent that we participate in them. Then we can understand that he is infinite, he is the necessary being, without which nothing can exist, that he's the origin of everything and the end of everything. Everything's ilayhi turja'un, everything goes back to him, that he's the outward, the manifest, and the hidden. He's manifest in the sense that he's more manifest than anything else, because we think that the creation, what we see in front of us, are the manifest, but actually the believers are those who believe in ghaib, in the unseen. And when we believe in ghaib, we will see that actually the reality, the basis of being is not what we see, because what we see keeps flowing, keeps leaving. So it can't be the source. It can't be, it's impermanent. Something impermanent can't be the source of anything. So although it looks only real and like this is what I can touch with my hand is what I believe, that's only when we are in a state of ghafla. The more we participate in the tasbih, the more we realize that it is flowing. It's only a reflection, a reminder of the true manifest one. And he becomes so manifest, much more manifest than the impermanent that we think is manifest when we are in a state of ghafla. And he encompasses everything, everywhere with his knowledge. From another point of view, he is batin, he is inward, he is unmanifested, more unmanifested than anything else. We only are aware of him through however much he manifests and makes known to us. Subhanallah. So there is this very profound ayah, and there are hadith about this ayah, and some people in some tafsir think also that this ayah is very, very special, and that when the Prophet ﷺ says there is a special ayah in one of the musabbihat, he's referring to this ayah. So it's an ayah to learn by heart and recite every day, and just listen to it and let it unfold to us in our heart, inshallah. So God is the first and the last, and the outward and the inward, and he knows, and he has full knowledge of everything. And it is he who has created the heavens and the earth in 6 aeons and is established on the throne. He knows all that enters the earth and all that comes out of it, as well as all that descends from the sky and all that ascends to it. And he is with you wherever you are, and God sees all that you do. Subhanallah. هو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش يعلم ما يولج في الأرض وما يخرج منها وما ينزل من السماء وما يعرج فيها وهو معكم أينما كنتم والله بما تعملون بصير. So here there is the arsh. Again, we will see that this the ayat speak about the whole universe, about the samawat wal ard, about the heavens and the earth, and then it comes to us. God knows everything, whatever enters the earth, whatever comes out of it, and whatever descends from the sky, and whatever ascends to it. And therefore, so we think, okay, carry on with your life. No, He is with you wherever you are, and He sees all what you do. So we are told all this for a reason. So it's talking about the afaq, the horizon, the outward world, in order to teach us something about our inner life, about something that will have a meaning in our life and that will enable us to take action accordingly. So here, arsh, this istawa ala al-arsh is an expression that is repeated in the Quran. And if you remember in Surah Al-Ra'd, we were also told that God has raised up the heavens without any support that we can see, and then He has established on the throne, and He has made the sun and the moon subservient to His will, each running its course for a term set. He regulates all that exists. He makes the ayat clear so that you will be certain of meeting your Rabb. That was the second ayah of Surah Al-Ra'd. And that ثُمَّ اسْتَوَى عَلَى الْعَرْشِ, He established Himself on the throne, is an expression that means throne here is the arsh is throne or the seat of power. And it is used in the Quran to denote God's absolute control and power and knowledge of all that exists. It is the place where the istiwa, the istiwa manifests itself, the throne of His rububiyyah, the throne, the seat of His rahmah, of His azama, of His almightiness. So it means everything is created in such a way that it is clear that nothing else, no other thing, no other being or law or whatever can claim even a single atom, can claim even a single thing. It means they are created in a way that they make tasbih, that it is clear that wherever we look, it is His creation, His sovereignty, His mulk, His arsh, His throne, His seat of power. Subhanallah. So it means our Rabb established Himself so that it is clear that it is His mulk and nothing, no one else's mulk. And that, so He is Rabbul Arsh. He is there is istawa ala al-arsh, there is also we say عليه توكلت in Surah At-Tawbah وهو رب العرش العظيم. And also we say فتعالى الله الملك الحق لا إله إلا هو رب العرش الكريم. So it is related to no shirk, tawheed, رب العرش الكريم. And we also told in Surah Al-Isra, Surah 17, Ayah 42, قل لو كان معه آلهة كما يقولون إذا لابتغوا إلى ذي العرش سبيلا. Say, if there were other deities, other gods with Him as they claim, surely they would have found a way against the lordship of the throne. They would have to find a way to show themselves in His throne. So when we looked at the creation, we wouldn't see His power only. So that's what the throne of God is. So this ayat of Surah Al-Hadid are reinforcing again and again that everything belongs to Him alone. He is the only one who has control over every single thing. Look around, everything is making tasbih, everything is his arsh, he has power over everything, he knows everything, subhanallah. So this is not told to us just like it is information, to your information, know this. This is very important. Because if this is the reality, if this is the truth, it's going to change how we live our life, how we make our choices, how we plan everything. It's like to get the same with how we view the world as permanent. We forget that it is impermanent. If we kept in mind constantly that it was impermanent, try it for a week and see how it's going to change all your thoughts, your decisions, your choices, how we spend our time, how we're going to let go of many thoughts and feelings and things, and subhanallah. So in this ayah, it's saying it would have been clear from the creation that they were partners with God. If truly the arsh was not his, if truly there were other deities except him, it would have been clear from the way the creation is created that there were other things than God. However, the fact is that the throne, the seat of power, the sovereignty, the controls belongs to him alone. And so wherever we look, whatever we look at, everything indicates to one single source of power, one single source of control and governance and administration and sovereignty and knowledge. The stars are governed by the same laws as the earth. Everything. And we are told in the Quran that he established his throne on water. And think of water, subhanallah. It enters every living being, human, animals, insects, plants, and it acts in all of them as though it knows all of their anatomies, their physical, biological, chemical constitution, it acts without any hesitation, without any mistake whatsoever. Can you imagine? We make mistakes, but this lifeless, unconscious matter, this liquid, goes in everything and acts with perfection. It penetrates inanimate matter and always acts in orderly manner. So either it is clear that either it follows the will and the command, and it's acting at the command of the Rabb of all these beings, all these worlds, who knows everything, who governs everything, who controls everything, or we would have to claim that lifeless and unconscious water has a will of its own, which it doesn't, it's clear. It has a knowledge that encompasses everything, which it doesn't, and has the power to subjugate all other elements to its will, which is absurd because water itself attests to those of us willing to reflect. Water itself makes tasbihat and yusabbihu rabbahu. He says, like, my Rabb is the one who is using me in everything. I know nothing, can you see? So he's making such a transparent, such clear tasbih and glorification, subhanallah. And that's what we told in Surah Al-Anbiya, Surah 21, Ayah 30, are then they those who deny the truth, not aware that the heavens and the earth were once a single entity, which then we parted asunder, and that we made out of water every living thing? Will they not then believe? وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ أَفَلَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. And we are told somewhere else that in Surah Hud, Surah 11, Ayah 7, كَانَ عَرْشُهُ عَلَى الْمَاءِ. We are told وهو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام وكان عرشه على الماء ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. So, and it is God who has created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and his throne is upon water. So it's to test you, which of you does the best. Subhanallah. And then it talks about resurrection. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. And that's because water is a very powerful area. We can start from there. Our homework assignment to start learning, listening and seeing and reading the signs and the tasbihat. We can start with water, because water is so weak, so lifeless, so unconscious, yet it is employed in the bringing into being creatures full of life, of consciousness, of art. It's used in countless, in all plants, in all living beings. Subhanallah. Like, it's just mind-blowing. You can't even believe it. You have to stop and reflect at the adama, the subhanallah, like he is beyond anything we can even imagine. He has power over all things. He knows everything. It's even beyond our small, limited knowledge and imagination. And it is
especially a timely homework during Ramadan to reflect on water.
Because we get thirsty, and so before we drink water, inshallah, at iftar, we can just look at it and subhanallah. And it is this relationship that declares la ilaha illallah, that declares la qadira illallah. There is no God but him. There is no giver of life but he. There is no powerful, no one has power except he. All power is from him. He is the source of all these things. No one has knowledge except he. All the source of all knowledge is with him. This is how water makes its tasbihat and glorifies its Rabb to its way of being in the world. And I'll stop here. I was intending to go to ayah 7, but I think let me just read ayah 4, so we know that it's still a description of our Rabb. And then we'll stop, inshallah. So we're told in ayah 7, ayah 4 of Surah Al-Hadid, it is he who has created the heavens and the earth in 6 days and is established on the throne. So you see in the previous ayah that I just read about water, it starts in the same way, except that there it says he established his throne on water. Subhanallah. So he created the heavens and the earth, and he established on the throne. He knows all that enters the earth and all that comes out of it, as well as all that descends from the sky and all that ascends to it. And he is with you wherever you are, and God sees all that you do. So you can see that he knows everything. Nothing is happening haphazardly. Everything is happening according to order, to laws. Therefore, they are ayat to his knowing. They're indicating his divine knowledge, and he's creating everything with knowledge, not haphazardly, with wisdom. He knows everything. Obviously, if he knows everything, he knows what we're up to. So he starts with the universe, with the afaq, and then ends up with us, with the anfus. And so he is indeed the first and the last, and the and the outward and the inward. And what is it to us if he knows everything? Why does it matter to us? Why are we told all this? Because this is not a book of science. It's not a book of philosophy. This is a book. This is divine guidance. It means our Rabb, who sustains our life, who sustains our very breathing here and now at this very moment, has not left us in this world without guidance on how to live our life in the best way. The best way meaning in the optimum way as to bear results in this world and in the next life forever. Optimum from all aspects, from our physical, intellectual, the heart, the emotions, our spirit and ruh. All of their needs are being met when we follow our Rabb's compassionate guidance. So in the Quran, and by means of the Quran, our Rabb reveals to us the meaning and the purpose of life. He shows us our destination, our raison de vivre, and how to achieve that purpose, inshallah. That is why this guidance is so crucial, it's so significant, if we are aware how much we need it. Because often we are not even aware that we need guidance, because we think we are deluded. We think that we figured everything out. We have it figured out, we have it planned. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. And the next ayah is, again, so he started with lahu mulku samawati wal ard. To him only belongs the sovereignty over the heavens and the earth. And now we are told again, because the whole thing was to establish that truly, truly we realize that everything is his. There is nothing we can think of or imagine or see or live or experience that is outside of his control and sovereignty. وَإِلَى اللَّهِ تُرْجَعُ الْأُمُورِ. And therefore, all things, all matters return back onto God. So if I live my life in a way that does not take this reality into account, something very wrong is going on. I would be very, very not only disappointed, but like, how do you say, when we die and when we are in the next life, when we realize that we missed the whole thing, it's going to be very, very painful. That's the fire, that's hellfire. And we put ourselves in that situation. And if we just take the time to reflect on this guidance, we will realize how true it is, how valuable it is, how much we need it, just like we need air, just like we need water. Subhanallah. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين نستغفر الله نستغفر الله نستغفر الله العظيم الكريم الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم ونتوب إليه سبحانه. Thank you. Inshallah, because of Ramadan, we actually were thinking of keeping it even shorter, but subhanallah, there are so many things packed of goodness and delicious meanings in these ayats that I tell myself I'm not going to unpack it, but I can't resist. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Jazakallah khair, Sister Yamina. We can, if there are any comments or questions, we can take them. Okay, so then if not, we'll stop here and we will meet again next week. May your Ramadan be blessed and may it be a time of reading beautiful signs of God around us and be part of this this orchestra that's glorifying, that's praising, making tasbih. Please let's keep each other in prayers also. So with that, we'll stop here.
Thank you, Isra.